Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Accenture Alumni Network Career Development Speaker Series. I'm Karen Stevens, Managing Director for Career Transitions at Accenture, which does include our Accenture Alumni Network. We were very excited to announce last summer the introduction of the Career Hub on our alumni platform. And this speaker series is an extension of that new offering. This is our third episode featuring Boost Your Personal Brand with Karina Perez Galindo. Our first two episodes covered networking with the author of the 20-minute networking meeting, Nathan Perez. No relation to Karina, I don't think. And resiliency in your job search with master job search coach Sheila Boyson. Both episodes were so good that if you missed either of them, I would really encourage you to find those recordings. They are in the Career Hub on the Accenture Alumni platform, which is accenturealumni.com. And the Career Hub also has resources for you that can help with personal branding, job search, career planning, networking. I highly recommend that you check it out. So before we move into the topic for today, I do want to acknowledge that we are still living in very unique circumstances. We are still in a pandemic, and we are still seeing the impact of that pandemic on the economy around the globe. So many of you may be conducting a job search, or you may be taking time to reflect on the state of your career and what you want your purpose to be. And so we actually launched this speaker series because we want you, our alumni around the world, to have the support that you need to navigate your career journey successfully. So I really do hope that you take advantage of that, and I'm very glad that you are here today. So before we get started, I do need to highlight a few details of our webinar platform. So below this video that you're watching right now, you will see the Q&A area. You can enter and submit questions throughout the presentation, and we will look to carve out some time at the end of today's presentation to answer your questions. We would like you to complete the survey. We want to know your feedback. We want to hear your recommendations. So there's a survey section visible on the right side of your console. Fill it out anytime during the webinar. If you don't see the survey on the right side of the console, you can hit the survey button, which is at the bottom. So if by any chance you don't have an opportunity to fill out the survey during today's broadcast, you can always come back, and during the recording, you can hit that survey button and complete that survey for you. But we really do love your feedback. We really do base future topics and content on your feedback. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Okay, let's get started. Building your personal brand. This is so key to a successful career. It has many long-term advantages. Having a brand gives you greater visibility. It exposes you to more opportunities, and it can set you up for greater achievements. If you've already started working on your personal brand, terrific, and this session will help you be even more effective. And if you've not started working on your personal brand, this session is going to help you with that. We are so fortunate today to have Karina Perez Galindo with us to share her knowledge and her expertise. Karina has more than 18 years of international experience in talent and change management. She is actually your fellow Accenture alumni. She was in Accenture's offices in Mexico, but she now lives in Chile, where she is an associate director at Robert Half, and was recently recognized as one of LinkedIn's top voices in Latin America for 2019. So a warm welcome to you, Karina, on behalf of myself and the Global Accenture Alumni Network. Over to you.
Thank you, Karen, for the introduction, and thank you also to the Accenture alumni team for this invitation. I'm delighted to be here. And all of you that you are connected or that you taking the time to look to this video later. Welcome, and I'm glad you can join us and you like the subject of the personal branding. That is something I'm very passionate about, and it's something that I've been working on for some time now personally. So this is based on my own experience, what I have get to know and get to understand what is important about your personal brand and how you can build one in this time. So let's go start and just something very small about me. I'm Karina. I was born in Venezuela. Now I live in Chile. As Karen told, I'm also a proud alumni of Accenture. Accenture was my first job. I now have a full career in consulting, so it really marked me. I really love working in consulting. For these past 10 years, I've been in charge of opening and develop the rubber hub operation in Chile, and thinking of as a region because this is the only office that we have in a Spanish-speaking country. So I really have the opportunity to really know about the labor market, the employment market, what is really important and how it's developing all over these years, and how I can foresee how it's going to be the future of work. And now I can tell you for sure, personal branding is a must-have if you really want to take care of your career, you want to be in control of yourself for the future. So Sam, if you want to go to the next one, and I think the next one. Okay. So what are we going to talk about? Well, why personal branding is important, really. My share of knowledge of how to build your personal brand, as Karen mentioned, if you're already in the path of working on it, how you can boost it for your future, or if you're just only getting around and how to get started, this might make up when you can start, how you can do it, and how you use the social networks to pull yourself up and enhance your voice to a larger audience. I'm going to talk specifically about LinkedIn because it's something I really have a lot of knowledge and experience on it, and I think it's the best social network on a professional for professional branding mostly. If you work in another type of areas, maybe I don't know, Instagram or Twitter can be good. But for corporate organizations and employment, I think LinkedIn is the first one, is the one that you should focus on. So in the next one, Sam, if you can help me. So something I want to talk to you about is what's happening in the labor market, what is happening in our market. Things are changing fast. And the things that we're living right now, like the COVID, is only accelerating what we already seen or what we're already seeing. And we know that our jobs right now is going to be shorter than in the past. So maybe my parents just got a job and they I don't know, they fulfill a full career in one company or maybe two companies. And even myself, when I started my career in Accenture, maybe I say to me, maybe I'm going to work, I don't know, in 2 or 3 companies for the rest of my life. But now things are very, very different. We can see that we can change jobs every 3 to 5 years. So we're going to be in the position to look for a job every now and then. So we have to find the skills, the right skills to be in the labor market more often, and how we can pursue like a longer career because we are going to live more years now. So in the past, you can think of yourself working until when you're 60 or 60 something, and now we're thinking ourselves working until you're 70 or 70 something. So it's like, okay, how I can maintain myself active in the labor market in different ways and to fulfill a career if I want to be active on it for a longer period of time. And now we have like a global environment. Technology allow us to work from anywhere, anytime. So it changes the rules of what we can do really with our careers from now on. And now that we're remote, really in our homes, in most of the countries that we're living, it's something that we can relate on. It's not a dream anymore. Like you say, okay, and maybe I can work from home, It's not the new reality, and you can see yourself. Well, maybe I have the opportunity to choose really where I want to live and where I want to work, and why not thinking in a region and not only one country, or thinking of some other cities in the country that you live in. So it's a full new network of opportunities are opening for us now, but it make us being more aware of the challenges that really requires from us. So the next one I'm going to talk about. Sam, can you help me, please? Okay. What are the benefits of building my brand? Well, obviously you gain a reputation and more visibility from an audience in the market, but it really improves your employability, and it allows you to get the opportunities that you really want, and not only you have to look for them, but at some point it will come to you. So that's the point. If you know that the market is going to change, that it's accelerating, that you want to be able to work for a longer period of time, you want the opportunities that come to you at some point. So if you really work in your personal branding, that can happen to you. So instead of having all the effort, making all the effort on looking for those opportunities, if you are building your brand seeing yourself in a longer period of time, probably the opportunities will start coming to your way instead that you have to look for them all the time. You get more credibility, and you really create a strong reputation in the market that you work on, the region that you want to work for yourself. So it really helps boosting your career in the future. So that's really important for us in this, and it allows you also to differentiate yourself from other people, from other potential candidates. So it's really important for us to build this. So the next one, Sam, please. Okay. To think about my brand, I have to think of me, right? Is my brand is who am I? So we need to take control of our career, principally because maybe we have many opportunities coming our way. We have a job posting, we have, I don't know, an opportunity, someone call us for a project or something like that. So you have to choose. I'll go there or not, I stay here, or I take this another opportunity. You have to start looking for the decisions that are right for you, and so you can really have control. Because sometimes something happens, something appears, and say yes quickly, and then I realize I didn't want to do this. So be mindful of taking control of the decisions that you're making for your career from day one. So if you start today, that's great. Just start taking control of what you really want to do and being consistent with that idea. And it's like thinking of your future and thinking that's opportunity that's I don't know, that's coming my way right now. It makes sense for the things that I really want to do in the future. You always have to be mindful of that. Sometimes we're just very happy to have an opportunity, or very happy that someone asks us for something, but we really need to I don't know, to be mindful. This is really what I want to do. This opportunity really allows me to get where I want to be. So that's something we need to be mindful of. And about personal branding, there are many definitions. I like particularly this one from William Arruda. He's one of the gurus of personal branding, and I really like this one because I think he really talks about some concepts that I think that are very important when you talk about personal branding. One is the personal, as he says, the personal brand is a way to clarify and communicate what makes you different and special. So you really need to understand what are the skill sets that you really have that makes you different. Maybe it's your international experience. Maybe you have experience in a specific industry. Maybe you have a good balance between soft skills and technical skills that nobody else have. Many just speak some other languages. So all of us have a set of skills that really differentiate us from the rest. Even that I'm a headhunter, there are many headhunters everywhere. But what is different about me than the rest? So I have to decide, maybe it's in the specialization I work on, maybe are the industry, maybe it's only the experience, maybe it's how I treat my candidates. There's always something that really relates to yourself. and really separate from the rest. We need to find that and focus on that to communicate better to the audience that we want to impact. So it's really important to understand what we care about, what we know, what we're passionate about, and convert that like in an idea. That's really our brand. So that's, if you want to read some books from him, he's great. He has a lot of books that you can relate on this subject. But I really want this concept from many others that I found in the market, and I think it's special. So from the next one, Sam. Okay, I ask you to do this. It is important just not start on LinkedIn, just not start with your CV, just start reflecting. The first thing that you need to do when working on personal branding is define who you are, really, from the bottom of your heart. Really, what's your values, what you're related to, what makes you happy, what are your passions, what really have you loved to do in the past, and what are your charms, what is your best technical skills, what do you know deeply, where do you want to work, in what subjects, in what area, in what industry, what are your soft skills, what are you best at in leadership, in team building, I don't know, in resilience, in flexibility, what in communication, what are your best things that you can do, and that you, if you relate with some people similar to you, you think I'm sort like I stand out on these things because I know that I'm better. We have some things that we're always developing, but in another ones, we feel like, oh, I'm really good at it. And we're proud of it. So find out what you're proud of and convert that in your personal idea. But it won't need to be just only about technical and soft skills. It also has to relate to you, to what are you passionate about, what are you really like to do, and where do you see working yourself in the future? Because it doesn't make sense that you start working on a personal brand to do something that you don't really want to do. So you really need to reflect on your future. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to work? On what things? What are you passionate about right now? What are you reading? What people are you following? And from all that, okay, make that idea to go forward. Okay, in the next one, apart from who you are, it's also important to take in consideration how other people see you, because all the things that you think of yourself, you have to sell, right? Because you have to impact your audience, people that may know you, some people, they may not know you at the beginning. So you need to relate to who the people that know you understand who you are. If you say, okay, I want to pursue a career now, I don't know, in digital marketing. Okay, no, I don't see you in that. And you don't have you're not really like a creative person. So why do you want to do a digital marketing career? So you have to take into consideration that the other people need to see you like fit with your idea. And they are seeing you going forward with that. It's not like, oh, if all other people say, no, I don't see you like that, and you have to drop your dreams. It's not like that, but it's like making into consideration, if you're going to the market with like selling yourself, you have to be sure that your idea is selling. Is somebody interested in it, and you are a good person to sell it. It's like it has your back. Yes, and I understand that you're good at it and you get better at it, and I will buy from you what you really are, what you can add value or help me with this and something like that. So I think it's important to understand what we're different at and also relate to how other people see us. And then you have to see, and you have to think, and we have talked about it, is where do you want to be? And I think you can see yourself in one place, maybe in different places, and you don't have just one way to get there. You can have multiple paths to get there. But anyway, you have to have this vision that where do you want to be in the future. And I hope for you that you can find that you can be happy, because sometimes we look for some things for recognition. We look for things maybe to get money fast, but sometimes we don't think of us being happy doing that. And I think as personal branding is something for your life, and you have to build this like for the rest of the professional life you want to be. So it's a long run. So you need to be like, be sure that you're looking for something that I'm gonna make you happy. It's not. It's like taking the time to me to do something that are meaningful to you, and you think that you are adding value to others the way you want to add. So it's very important to see yourself in this, not only because you are good at it or it's your passion, but because at the end you're happy doing it. So that's very important because this personal branding is related to a long run. So it's going to accompany you for many, many years. So you have to be sure that you're going to a place that you really want to be. So for the next one, Sam, as you can help me. Okay, and some other things that you can ask yourself is where do you want to live? Because now, as we have this world of opportunity of working from home or working remotely or have flexibility, you can see yourself living in another place maybe, having a big garden and working from home and have work for a company, work from several clients, be independent. What type of work do you see yourself doing in the next 5, 10 years? I don't see 20. We talked about 20 many years ago, but I think 20 is too much now because things change so fast. Maybe things are gonna change so fast during these 10 to 12 years. And you see, I don't know what I want to do in 20. Maybe I don't know yet. So make it like shorter term, 5, 10 years. Will be mindful of the final destination. For example, I want to be, I don't know, an employee of a corporate big organization for all my career. How you can do that? No, I want to be an employee for the next 5 years, but I want to be independent for the rest. Okay, how are you going to do that? So it's really important to see, okay, where do you want to be? How's the type of job that you want to work? And then see what is the path that gets you there. Okay, the next one, Sam. Okay, it's like I said, you have many different paths that get you where you want to be, but you have to think every time an opportunity arises, it makes sense for me. It relates with my big plan, with this future I'm seeing for myself. And also, this opportunity will make me happy, will be aligned with my values, who I am, who I want to be in the future. Now and in the future. So it's very important to have all these questions where you're thinking and reflecting for building your brand. And getting to the next one. Okay. Skills is something that we have to develop right now in a faster pace. And we know now that we just study at university, we start a job, but we need to keep reading and be mindful of understanding what's happening around our industry or our specialization, around our market, and all the things that we need to learn, how we can learn them as fast as we can, and we need to continue to develop these skills. So when I have this plan, okay, for example, I want to be, I don't know, in digital marketing for the next 10 years. I know marketing, not digital. I want digital now. Well, I have to learn a lot about digital. I have to find a job that makes me do digital marketing because I'm not doing that right now. So I can learn from studying, for, I don't know, reading, but I need to get some experience too. So that's very important. So fulfilling and completing our skills is our role, is our responsibility. And the only way I can complete my dream if I'm sure that I'm getting the way of fulfilling these skills for myself during my career. So this is something that is not going away. This is something that is going to be accelerating because as things are changing, many processes, methodologies, technologies putting in place, it requires us to catch up. So it requires us to keep studying all the time. And it's our responsibility. Building our brand defines where we want to be, what do you want to do, with which subjects are you want to be related on, and And then you have the gap. Maybe I'm not the expert right now in digital marketing, but I want to be. Okay, I have to build those skills. So it's not a problem when you define your destination that you're not there. That's okay. But you have to make that gap. You have to go through there and study and prepare yourself to the place that you want to be. Okay, and the next one, okay, things that you can do to help you get there is, okay, it takes projects and responsibilities that are related to the things that you really want to do. Work a lot on networking. I think personal branding and networking are the two sides of the same coin. You cannot do one without the other. So regrettably, this is only about personal branding, but I can tell you, for your personal branding, you need to work on your networking. And you really have to work on your communication and skills. And also, it's about social network, because if you use the social networks that are available to you, you can expand your voice. You can reach many people that you may not know personally, but they can relate with what you're saying, with what you're telling, with your story, with your successes, with your learnings. So it's important to develop a voice in the social networks and use it positively for you, because it will help you enhance your audience in the long run. It will help you a lot with your personal branding. So I know that not everybody is a social network lover. Like not everybody is really onto it, but I know for sure from my own experience, it will help you a lot. And if you use it professionally, it won't get back to you in a bad way. It only gets to you in a good way, in a positive way, if you use it properly. So I think you gain more using it than not using it. But it's also very optional for everybody. It's not like you have to do it. It's your option, but I will tell you, it will change everything for you. And also, put your talents in service of the others. Be generous with your time to others. Be generous with your sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience, having the time to talk to someone that needs you, that needs what you're doing or your experience. It's also about sharing. It's a lot really about sharing. So be mindful of thinking of you. You have to think of others. So you have to start sharing your voice, sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience with everybody that really wants it and is really there for you and really need to know what you have to say. Okay, and the next one, personal branding is not something that you construct just in one day. It's a long run. So you have to be mindful that it's something that you really want to do. You have to incorporate it in your life, in your career, in a daily basis. It's the only way really to really get there and to really seeing the results of this work. What happened is many of the people, start on LinkedIn writing one time. They don't see many people, saying like or making a comment. So people say, no, this is not working. And they drop it. The error is dropping it before anything can happen, really. So be mindful, this takes time, but you have to be consistent. And if you have a good voice and you have something good to share, and there's people interested in what you're sharing, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and it will start something magical. It's like, you will start seeing more people engaging with you. You will start people saying, I like what you're saying, or more people saying comments. I don't like what you're saying, but okay, thank you for sharing. Anyway, in a good way, you will see people that start following you and be attentive what you have to say. So the thing is not dropping before anything happens. So what you have to do now is prepare to talk about you with many people, because you have to use the networking just to get around what you want to do, who you are, what are your goals. And you have to be consistent and fulfill your social network, like in a daily basis, be there, sharing, creating new content and everything. And you have to take control on your job and raise your hand to participate in all the projects that you really think are mindful for the things that you really need to learn and be participating. So for the next one, it's of course we need to prepare ourselves in terms of our communication skills, because talking with people or writing about us and what we're doing, it demands to have a strong communication skill. So it's very important that if we know that we don't write well, okay, maybe use your personal or use your voice, your personal voice. If you don't really like the camera, but you like to write more. But anyway, you have to be more balanced. And if one of these you're not that good, you need to look for help to develop more, because as this is for many years, you will need to use it a lot. So it's good that you take control now, and if you need some help on developing skills for you communicate you better, it's really important to attend that at the beginning. So the next one. Sam. Okay, and the good part is, well, more talking about the digital side, you have to be mindful of what is your digital fingerprint. Have you looked yourself on Google? Have you know what appears if if I look for Karina Perez Galindo, what happens? I appear, I doesn't appear. I appear a lot. I don't appear at all. So it's good to Google yourself first, just to know how is my digital fingerprint. Because also some other people are going to do that if they're going to talk to you. For instance, if you ask for someone to have a meeting with you, I always look for people that I'm going to accept a meeting, or if I already accept the meeting, I always Google them before the meeting, so I know who they are, what they did, who are they, etc. So it's really important to generate a fingerprint that is related with what we need to construct as a personal branding. But apart from our digital fingerprints, we can do other things. Well, we can write columns. We can start writing. LinkedIn is free, and you can start writing right now. Or if you have the connections to publish in newspapers or magazines, please do. So please start. Use your connections to start appearing in other places and write columns or write, papers if you're in it. It's really important. Be a connection between people. Facilitate, and I'm going to use someone that I know that do that. I know that you're really interested in doing this project. I know someone that is related to that, so I'm going to introduce you. So be mindful and helpful for others. Also go to webinars, follow influencers that are related with the subjects that you want to work in. Participate in professional associations. That is very important. But it's not like I'm registered in the professional association. Be participate, be active. So if we have a team of work teams for different subjects, subscribe on those teams, start working, start being active on what's happening in the back, because it's really important that people really know you. This is going out, not going in. So you have to go out all in. So relate with people. Go to other places. Now that we cannot go to Congress or meetings, we can do it remotely also. So use all the remote options that we have to connect with people everywhere around the world, so they know you, they know what you're doing, they know what you can offer, and be mindful of that. It's very important. So as another thing, okay, as I mentioned before, you have to Google yourself, see where's your digital fingerprint. It's very, very important. And I'm asking you, do you have a social network right now? Do you have an account in LinkedIn? Do you have an account in Instagram? Do you have an account, I don't know, in Twitter? Do you use it professionally? Because this requires you to use it professionally, and at least one of those. So, and for the next one, okay. As I mentioned, I always Google people. We know most of the recruiters Google their candidates at some point when they are in the process. And we are also doing it for any meeting that we have. If I do it, and most of you for sure are doing it also. So it's something that it will stay with us. And as long as we have more time and we're developing a brand on a social network, it will have more and more information about us. And if a person Google us and they find a lot of things about us, I write, I have videos, I go, I don't know, to a program in the television and I have a lot of articles. I can see this person is very active. It also appears like it's more appealing for the people that is going to talk to you because, okay, it seems that this person has connections or this person knows what he's talking about because have many followers or have many people around or have many opportunities. I don't know. It's really important that you have like, okay, this digital footprint created for you. And social networks is the only way to do it. So it's very important to participate and do it more professional as you can. And for the next one, okay, some terms of this. Well, LinkedIn, as I said at the beginning, I think is a professional network of choice. You also have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Depends on what you're working on right now. Maybe one of those are good for you too. But I can tell you, working them professionally requires a lot of time and effort. So I will recommend you if you don't do it professionally, just start with one, focus on one, develop that one like profoundly, and then go to the next one. Otherwise, you don't manage really all the information, the timings, the kind of posts and everything to do it like in all of them because all of them are different in the way that you share things and your audience, how you connect with them, they are very different. So I will recommend you because it takes time and you don't have help, please start with one and then go with the rest. And as I'm a big user of LinkedIn, here are some tips for you that you can follow. I don't know if you don't have an account or not. If you don't have an account, I would recommend you to open one and start using like in a regular basis. LinkedIn is the professional like social network of choice. So you can have a background behind your pictures, and you can choose to show yourself in a picture, use a picture that really relates to you, create a collage of things that really relates to you. So I recommend to create a background of your own, not exactly the ones that has like it's a blue one, very neutral in LinkedIn, just to have your personalized background. Then use a very professional photo, so you can have like that it really relates to your face. There are some pictures that you only see a shadow or a person that is very far away. So be sure to have the best picture you can get for yourself because it's something that everybody sees. Choose a name. If you, I choose to choose my two surnames because I think it's important because Perez is too common. And there are millions of Perez. So I use my second one also because I think that the mix of two makes me more special and make me easier to find. So relate to your name. That is, if it is very common, think of what you can do to change it, or use all your names so you can be more special and not because if I put Karina Perez, you have millions Karina Perez. But Karina Perez Galindo, there are just a few, so it's easier if you use the correct name so people can find you easily. The location is also important. You can put where you live right now or when the market that you are interested in, so you have developed and profound in that location. The next one, you can change your URL, and you can go to yourself in the settings, and because the regular is a long number, very difficult to follow. If you want to share your link in your CV or you want to share your LinkedIn link with somebody, it's easier. It just has your name. You can have your LinkedIn profile in different languages as all that you want, but I recommend to use it only in the languages that you really manage and talk. So if you talk Spanish, English, French, Chinese, wherever, just please you on all the languages that you manage, and you can and on the markets that you're related on or interested in. So you can have all the information, and people can find you in those languages too, and read what you're trained and everything. Then you can select your title. A few years ago, everybody just put what they're doing right now. So what's the role and the company that are in. And now it's a trend of what you put here, what you really are, what you're interested in right now. So what are you doing? What are you passionate about? That's the questions that you really need to answer, putting the title in LinkedIn. Then you have your extract. As you can see, you can only see like the first 2 lines, and then you have a lot of space of putting things. So take advantage of the first 2 lines because I can tell you the only thing that people read. I know that because I have my mail, my Robert Half email at the end of the extract, and everybody writes to me in LinkedIn. I have my email there, but nobody read it, so nobody knows that the email is there. So I can tell you the extract. Nobody, just a few people just read it, but it's very important for the people that are mindful to really know you. You have a good extract that really relates to you. Then you have this area that is a showcase, so when you can share things that you're doing. It can be a document, it can be a video, it can be something that an extract or something that you were participating, pictures, anything that you think is important to share in a showcase way. That it's your name, your things, and then appears this. So, and this is something that not many people use. So it really relates that you're more active in LinkedIn if you have it. So it is important that you use it if you have something to share. If you don't have something like that important to share now, okay, just use it when you think you have something that really relates to be here. Or try to construct some information that you can put here because it develops a better profile for you. And also below that, you have on other things. You have your activity set. In your activity set, you can see where you're participating, what are the posts that you're doing, where you're answering people. So you have, I think, some that's in the next slide, where you can see, for example, if if you have an activity, it will say below the showcase. And if you don't have activity, I can tell for sure that you're a person that really not use more often LinkedIn because you're not participating, you're not engaging, you're not sharing information, you don't have any posts right now. So it's like, okay, you're not using just the profile and that's it. So if you're using it more professionally, you have to share things, you have to create posts, you have to answer and engage the people that, put you a comment in something that you posted, just making a comment or answer them back, put a like or whatever. So it will start appearing on your activity side. And other things you can work is on your profile and education. If you do voluntary work, what are the attitudes and abilities that you have? And you can also have referrals and recommendation for yourself that you can ask people to give you, and you can also give other people. These are things that are not like required. You must have, but I think that are really that they are important to you and really tells what you are doing and what you are. I think it's important also that you have the most complete profile that you can get. I think. Yes, so be involved. Use the format that is more likely you to use. If you prefer to use a video, if you prefer to write, just use what you're more comfortable of. But not. You have to do it like often. You have to do it at least posting and sharing things at least three times a week just to create an audience. If you don't do that, at least with this involvement, it won't work. So you have to be mindful of using LinkedIn, for instance, in a daily basis, and at least planning your months to have shares at least for 3 times a week in the way that you're most comfortable on. Many people do videos, many people write, many people just post. They just reflect on things that they're working on. So choose whatever is better for you. But the thing is, okay, start doing it with consistency and constancy. And the next one, I think, is the last one. I have written 10 columns about career development and employability for the future now in the age that we have. These are the 10 recommendations that I get deep in the columns. Now, regrettably, right now are only in Spanish, but I'm going to create a compilate with all of the columns in English that I'm going to share also in my LinkedIn. So if you really like to know about this material, just reach out to me, contact me through LinkedIn, and I can share this with you. So thank you very much, and I'm going to Karen just to know about the questions that you may have and how can I answer you.
Great. Thank you so much, Karina. That was so informative. I actually have prided myself on my LinkedIn presence in the past. And I have to actually tell you a funny story because so you had a quote from William Arruda on your one of your first slides. And I actually, like 5.5 years ago, he wrote an article on how women can use LinkedIn to, I believe the headline was Smash the Glass Ceiling. And he used my LinkedIn profile as one of like 7 examples in his article. So I was super proud of it. But I have not kept it up to date over the last 5 years because I've been at Accenture and I've been, feeling, very focused on my work at Accenture, and I have not kept my LinkedIn profile up to date. And so I need to, you reminded me, and that quote from William definitely reminded me that I need to get back on that. So thank you so much. I have tons of questions. So I do just want to say to all of you out there participating, thank you for the questions. I don't know, there's no way we're going to get through them all, but I've been trying to pull out ones that I think are probably questions on the minds of more than one person. So Harsha has asked, how are branding and reputation different? And is there a way to uncover my reputation perception?
Okay. Yes. If you, it relates to if you want to change its reputation, if you don't have the one that you really want, it's related to that. Well, that's something that you really need to work on. If you don't really have the reputation that you wish to have, it's not impossible at all because you create a new one the day that you start to reflect on what you really want to be on the market, on how the way that people will see you. Mm-hmm. But you need to start like right now. You need to start writing. You need to start engaging with other people. You need to create a network of people that really follow you. Maybe you work that through your networking. So maybe you have people that really likes what you're doing and what you're saying, or really reflects on your work and experience and appreciate that. And you need them to push your likes on your information. So you can create some people that they can also be like they also have a good reputation just to be help you create a new one for you. Like, okay, I vow for you what you're saying or what your experience or what you're working on. Yeah. So say some things about what you're working right now. It may help you like create a new audience for you. And then the ones that relate to something that is maybe negative in the past, everybody can commit a mistake. We are not perfect. And we can change ourselves in a different way. When we need to reinvent ourselves for the future. So we can change. And we can change in a positive way. So you just have to make that message come out. We're looking at ways through networking and social network to do that and create a base of people that help you get there. Not doing it alone, but with the reflection of people that can help create this new visibility or this new chapter for you.
Great, thank you. That was great. So shifting gears a little bit, actually a lot. This is almost a yes or no question. Actually, it's not going to be a yes or no question. So 2 people asked the exact same question. Brad and Laura both want to know, is it worth it to pay for LinkedIn Premium? Do you recommend that?
Okay, depends on how are you gonna use it.
Yeah.
I not only have the premium, I have the Sales Navigator. That is one of the premium top things because I'm using for commercial development. So I know that it can be expensive. You can use it the 30-day trial when you think you are capable of taking advantage on using it because it doesn't matter if you just start the trial and then you don't open LinkedIn. If try it and see for yourself because they're going to charge for the 31st day if you really think it's useful for you. The things that are better is that you can reach a lot of people and you can search a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have, you only have like the basic LinkedIn, if you search a lot of people, you have like to stop at some point because they put like caps. Okay, if you already found all the people that you can have for the free link, you want to keep looking for people, you have to pay. So if you don't have like too many connections to get to the people that you need in a second level, the premium can help you boost your way to connect with people and to develop your LinkedIn. As long as you have a strong followers or more contact for yourself, maybe you don't need that much, but at the beginning, I think it'll help you definitely. But I cannot say that it will help like everybody. It depends on how you use it really. So I would say just try it and let's see if it's helpful for what you want to do in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice to take advantage of the trial, the free trial, but then definitely get in there every day and use it while you have the free trial.
Otherwise, the 30 days is gonna pass by and I don't think they help. Yeah. No, if you didn't use it, you don't know.
Exactly. Okay. So this is an interesting question from Jude. Should you have all of your professional experience on LinkedIn? And then kind of a follow-up question to that. And what level of detail should you put every detail of your responsibilities on LinkedIn?
No, I don't think you have to reflect in all. And I will say for LinkedIn the same advice I do for CVs. You don't construct your CV or your LinkedIn profile thinking of your past. You construct your LinkedIn profile thinking of your future. What of your past is really important to get to the future that you really want. So I'm going to use digital marketing again. So I'm having marketing, but not digital, and I want digital. But I learned a little bit. I work, 20% of my job right now. What I'm going to talk about in my whole profile about digital marketing. Even I don't have that much experience. I'm building it. I want to work on it. So let's try and let's put in there whatever is reflecting of you from your digital marketing and tell us your passion and start writing about it. Start connecting with people that is also passionate about it and then go forward. It's like it's very important not thinking about LinkedIn is my past. LinkedIn is your future. It's your next 10 years. So be mindful of telling of your past what is really important and mindful for that future. Yeah. That's the best advice I can give you.
Yeah, that is great advice. I love that. So then there was a follow-up question to that. Why do recruiters who have connected with you on LinkedIn follow up with requesting your resume? Isn't that what LinkedIn is?
No, I think of LinkedIn a complement from your CV. Mm-hmm. The CV is still, I know it's very old fashioned, but it's still the way you can get a job. At least it's the thing that everybody's going to ask you to send before an interview. So right. as a new things come forward, the CV is only for that. But it still is your introduction and your personal career later, if you want to put it that way, for your job, for putting forward who you are. I think of LinkedIn as a complement of that CV, and you have a lot more space to reflect who you really are, how you really think, and what you're passionate about than in the CV that is so formal. Yeah. So take advantage of your LinkedIn to complement it, and so can people really relate to you. So if they read your review in LinkedIn and they see what what you're writing about or what you're commenting about, I can see yourself. Be very mindful of creating a voice of your own that really reflects who you are. Write what you really want to write in the way that you will really write if you are with friends. Think about LinkedIn as something that it really works if you are like transparent. If you are who you really are. So people can engage with you and you can be consistent with that image and your voice because it's only you. So don't create like a character for it. Be yourself and share with respect, obviously, from the others, but just be yourself. That's very important.
And do you think that that recruiters and the hiring managers pay attention to recommendations and I think mostly the recommendations on LinkedIn from other people?
That's a good question. I don't think from hiring managers. I would think that it helps you create like a valid LinkedIn profile that you say you exist, that you're real, because people talk about you. But it's not really the thing that you expect to have like in conscious, except that it's a bad one, because
Right.
that doesn't count. So if I'm going to hire someone, I want to take the references from myself and ask the questions I want to ask. And everybody does it. But it helps you to create like a real profile, that you're a real person.
Yeah.
And also other people are talking positive and good from who you are.
So Rick was asking, should we seek out media attention as much as possible? I guess I would say as long as it's positive, right?
Well, if you can get it, why not? But you're prepared for it because taking media attention requires also abilities to handle media. And it requires like a professional advice before doing so. Because media sometimes you say something and they just twist it, or you say something, they put something that you said in the wrong context, and it sounds very bad when what they how they put it. So I think you need training to work with to expose yourself with a lot of media. So you have the experience and you have the knowledge to do it. Please do so. But if you don't have, just start slow, get the skills that you need, and then go out. Just doing like step by step. Going out the first time, I won't recommend. I would recommend if you don't have the experience, go step by step. Just start slow and then go fast. But at the beginning, I would not recommend to expose yourself to media if you don't have the experience. It can be wrong, or you can feel frustrated. It can be a bad experience at the beginning if you don't have the skills to manage.
So I think we only have time for one more question. I'm going to ask this one because there were several versions of this question. But Johan actually asked originally. So if you're currently pursuing two different avenues in your career, and one needs a brand for targeting individuals, and the other needs a brand for targeting companies, how do you build a personal brand that encompasses two different worlds?
I think it's possible, and I see some very strong influencers that do so in LinkedIn. So I will ask you to look for people that do something similar that you do, and that also works for corporations and direct customers, freelance individuals. And I think you can do it. You can have a profile that says, I do this for companies and I do this for you. And you can do it also in LinkedIn. You can have both in LinkedIn. I think it's very possible, but you do have to be mindful of how you relate with each one because they are different audiences. So when you sit down with a client, a corporate client, your speech should be different than when you speak or relate with an individual. But in your profile, you can have both worlds. The sky is the limit. The thing is, you have to be mindful of how you communicate to both worlds, not to forget about one. It's like you want to have both, you can have both, but then you have to communicate in the right way for both.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about just being authentic. So, well, we have a ton more questions, but unfortunately that is all the time we have for today. So thank you, Karina, for your partnership. It's so great to have one of our very own alumni as a speaker, and it was an incredibly informative session today. I want to thank the global alumni community for joining us. Watch the alumni site and the newsletter for information on our next episode, which will be on November 4th. And we'll feature Sarah Kruger of Accenture Australia on the topic of skills for a post-pandemic workforce. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you again for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Karen, for the invitation.
Thank
you.
Happy
To be here today.